Thank you. We are here representing R3 just down the street on 6th Ave. Now, R3 is an enterprise tech company focusing on decentralized ledger technology. And in recent years, we've been focusing a great deal of effort into digital currencies, and more specific, central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs for short. Now, I'm going to have to ask you to keep that acronym CBDC in the front of your mind for this demo, because we're going to be using it a lot. So what is a CBDC? Well, unlike stable coins like USDC or Tether, CBDC is a digital currency that's fully backed by the central bank. Think in the US, the Fed. Now, there are two types of CBDCs. We have retail CBDC, which is a digital version of what I'm holding right here, cash, and wholesale CBDC, which is a form of interbank money that promises benefits such as instant settlement and real-time cross-border payments. Now, CBDC is catalyzing and pushing innovation in payments in money. Think simple money versus smart money. Think locked money versus liquid money. Think regulated DeFi networks. Now, what we're going to be demonstrating today is the creation and issuance of a central bank digital currency from a central bank to a commercial bank, and then a payment between two commercial banks. This will be done entirely on the R3 sandbox for digital currencies, which is a platform used by central and commercial banks to explore the benefits and impacts of a CBDC built on DLT. So, what we've been looking at for the past minute or so is the contents of our network here in the sandbox. We've got a central bank and several wholesale bank nodes. Today we're going to click into our central bank node, wholesale bank 1, and wholesale bank 2. Now that we're in the central bank node, we can begin the asset lifecycle. So, to do that, we'll click on our CBDC manager and to our defined CBDC type to get started. So here we're going to call our new central bank digital currency the digital pound, and we'll give it a decimal place of, say, 2. Next, we have our notary selection. Here, this is where we select the jurisdiction we'd like to issue our asset into, our CBDC into. We're going to choose Notary 1, as that's in London, and this is the digital pound. Now, next we're going to see these next 3 steps are going to be the representation of the programmability of money. So here we can hardwire policy into the asset itself that it must adhere to through its entire life cycle. Now, programmability, I have a bit of a problem with that term, as it suggests you have to be a programmer or dev to apply it to a new asset or currency. But as you're going to see now, it's certainly not the case at all. So first, we have our member access controls. With these, we can decide if we want to have control over who can custody or transact with this asset at any time and in real time. We're going to keep these on, and we're going to move on to our transaction controls. Here, if we click Add Control, we can set our maximum value of transaction that this asset can experience, or a maximum value without the issuer signing. We're going to select maximum value and set it to 10 million. And finally, move on to our asset controls. Now, these are intended to give the issuer of the asset a little more visibility into who's holding it. But because we've had those member access controls applied, we trust who's holding it, so we're going to go ahead and skip this phase and start to issue that member access. So we can submit that. We'll go to our Member Controls tab in the central bank again, and we're going to begin to issue access to this new digital pound to Wholesale Bank 1 and Wholesale Bank 2. Now, you can see the impact of the ability to do this. If a central bank were to issue or define a CBDC that was particularly suited for very large financial institutions, they could push access to the 5 or 10 largest commercial banks in the region at once. So, looks like we have access with Wholesale Bank 1, Wholesale Bank 2. So let's get some liquidity onto the network. So here we'll go into our CBDC manager again, and into Request CBDC. Here we're acting as a commercial banker. We're going to ask for, say, 25 million of this brand new digital pound. Great. We'll send that request through to the central bank. If we see in the top right-hand corner, looks like that request was successful. And we get a notification from in the central bank that we have an incoming request here from Wholesale Bank 1 for that digital pound. We'll go ahead and approve it as we, again, trust this actor on the network. Finally, we'll go back into our Wholesale Bank 1 here, into our treasury, to make sure that that's now populating our treasury here. And we do now see that that digital pound is there, along with the Swiss franc and the digital euro that we previously held. So let's begin the payment flow. So here we can go back into our Cbdc manager in the Wholesale Bank 1. We'll go to Transfer Cbdc and into Push Transfer to initiate this flow. So here we'll click on our digital pound. Next, to our counterparty, we'll choose Wholesale 2. And here we're going to send, say, $10,001 to Wholesale Bank 2. 10 million for the bank, and 1 for my buddy over at Wholesale Bank 2 to get a slice of pizza on the way home. Now, we have a problem with that. As you can see, we have an invalid amount down here, as we've exceeded that maximum transaction value of 10 million. So our buddy at Wholesale Bank 2 is going to have to go without his pizza, and we're going to send 10 million flat. Wonderful. Now we're going to jump to Wholesale Bank 2, and we'll see that new digital pound now populating the treasury, 10 million. Our transaction was successful. So this is just one example of a business flow that can be completed using Cbdc in the sandbox. R3 is currently working with some of the world's largest central banks on more complex business flows, as well as some commercial institutions that are looking at instant payment versus payments, that's domestic and cross-border, and delivery versus payments, domestic and cross-border. So if you'd like to learn more, please come check us out. We're downstairs on the left. Thank you.